Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. In the last class, we have discussed about the decision tree induction classifier, where we had constructed the decision tree. Okay, so after constructing the decision tree, then we had classified the records. That is a decision tree induction. Okay, so we had represented the rules in the form of a tree there. Okay, so and then after representing that graphically in a form of a tree, say for example like this, see we had classified the records. Okay, that is the decision tree induction. So now coming to the second type of classifier, that is the rule-based classifier. See, in case of rule-based classifier, here the classification will be done using a collection of rules. Those rules will be present in a form of if-then. Okay, so we'll be having a set of rules here, and those rules will be in a form of if-then rules. So using these if-then rules, we will be able to classify the given records here. So a rule-based classifier is a technique that is used for classifying the records using a collection of if-then rules. We will be having a set of rules here. Using those rules, we will be able to classify the given records. Okay, so here we have got one of rule set here. Okay, so this rule set, it is used as a model, okay, for performing the rule based classification here. So this has been written for the vertebrate classification problem, just like how we have constructed or built a decision tree for that is vertebrate classification problem. So in the same way, we have created a model here, rule based classifier model. So using this model, we can or we will be able to classify the given records here. Okay. So see here, the difference between the decision tree induction algorithm and rule based classifier is, in case of decision tree induction algorithm, we will be constructing or building a decision tree. So after constructing a decision tree, okay, so after representing the records in a form of a tree, okay, we will be able to classify the records. But in case of rule based classifier, we will be having a set of rules. Using these set of rules, we will be able to classify the given records. Okay, so here we will not construct any decision tree. Instead, we will be having a set of rules in the form of if then. Using those rules, we will be classifying the records here. So see here, we have got one of the rule set that is for the vertebrate classification problem. So if you observe here, we have got a set of rules R1, R2, R3, R4, and then R5. See, each of the rule, it is in the form of if then here. So if condition, then the class level. So see here, if gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes, then it means that class label is birds. See, if the test record or the training record, if it has got the attributes as gives birth is equal to no, and if aerial creature is equal to yes, if these attributes are satisfied, then we will assign the class label as birds. And second rule is, that is R2. Okay, so it states that if gives birth is equal to no and aquatic creature is equal to yes, then it means that it is a fish. We will assign the class label as fishes. Okay. Next, third rule is gives birth is equal to yes and body temperature is equal to warm blooded. So if these attributes are satisfied, then we will classify it as mammals. Next one is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to no, then it means that it is reptiles. And last rule is, that is for the amphibians, if it is aquatic creature, that is if the aquatic creature feature is semi, then we will assign the class label as amphibians. Okay. So see here, using these rules, we will be able to classify the records in case of rule based classifier. This is one of the example. Then see, what is this rule set contains here. Okay, so the rule set, it will be a combination of all these rules. So for this vertebrate classification problem, rule set will be denoted by R, that will be containing the disjunction of all these rules. That is R1 disjunction, R2 disjunction, R3 disjunction, R4 disjunction, R5. It means that it is disjunction of all these rules. That is a collection of rules here. That is called as a rule set. So disjunction means that any one rule will be triggered here for classification. Okay, so in general, if there are k rules here, so that rule set will be expressed as R is equal to R1 disjunction, R2 disjunction, and so on Rk. Okay, so here R is a rule set, and these are the rules here which we have formed. So for this vertebrate classification problem, totally we have got 5 rules here. So rule set will be R1 disjunction, R2 disjunction, R3 disjunction, R4 disjunction, R5. Okay. And one more is about these R1, R2, and then R3, R4, and R5. These rules, okay, they are called as classification rules, or they are also called as disjuncts here. So complete R, this capital R, it is going to stand for a rule set. It is a collection of rules. These individual rules R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, they are called as classification rules. Okay, so using these classification rules, we will be able to classify records. Okay. So now coming to each and individual rule here. So in general, each and individual rule is in this form, Ri, and then we have got the semicolon. Okay, then we have got a condition. Okay, condition with respect to the attributes, and then we have got the implication, and then yi. So yi is the class level here. For example, see, condition is for the first rule, gives birth is equal to no, and aerial creature is equal to yes. That is the condition. So each rule, it is in the form of, that is collection of attribute test conditions here. So we are checking the attributes test conditions. Okay, so that is the LHS part. Okay, and then we have got the implication sign, and then on the RHS we have got yi. Yi stands for the class level here. So this LHS part, that is condition. So it will be in a form of attribute value pairs here. So if you look here, gives birth is an attribute, and in the same way, aerial creature, it is also an attribute. And then this no, gives birth is equal to no. Here no stands for the value here, value of this gives birth. So in the same way, aerial creature is equal to yes. Yes is the value of this attribute, aerial creature. And in the same way, for the second rule, gives birth is an attribute, and then aquatic creature is also an attribute here, and the values of those attributes for gives birth, it is no, and for aquatic creature is it is yes. So this condition, so it will be in a form of that is combination of attribute value pairs here, that is a1 opv1. So in this form it will be there, a1 opv1, a2 opv2, and so on, ak opvk. So each of these conditions, so it will be in this form. It is a combination of attribute value pairs, that is ei comma vj. Okay, and op stands for the operator here, logical operator. Either it can be equal, not equal, less than, greater than, less than, or equal to, greater than, or equal to. So here in this we have used equal sign. So we have compared the attribute with the value. So sometimes we may even use less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than, less than. See, all these are kinds of operators. Okay, so each of the conditions, see, in these rules, see, it will be a combination of attribute value pairs here. So it will be having both attributes and corresponding values. Okay, and then see this condition or the LHS part, so it is called as rule antecedent. Okay, so it is also called as rule and antecedent. This LHS part in each of the rule, this complete part, okay, in the rule R1, for example, gives birth is equal to no, and then aerial creature is equal to yes. See, this complete part is called as rule antecedent. Okay, and then yi is called as rule consequent. So rule consequent will be containing a class label here. For example, see, for the first rule, see, rule consequent is birds. So birds is a class label here that will be assigning to the record. So this LHS part, that is condition, it is called as rule that is consequent, and this one, sorry, rule antecedent. So this LHS part, and RHS part is called as rule consequent. Okay. So now suppose, see, if you got a training record, if that training records attributes, if they match with the rule antecedent of the rule, then we are going to say that this rule is covering a record. So we are going to say that a rule is covering a record. Okay, if the condition value, condition means this rule antecedent value, if it matches with the attribute values of the given record, then we are going to say that rule is covering the record. So in general, a rule R covers the record X. Okay, so here R is a rule and X is a record here. So we are going to say that rule R covers the record X if the precondition of R, if the precondition of the rule, if it matches with the attributes of X. Precondition means this one. Okay, so that is rule antecedent part. If this precondition, if it matches with the attributes of a record, then we are going to say that rule is covering a record. or uh, R, rule R is triggered or fired by the given record. Okay, so R is going to be said as covering the record if the precondition of this R, if it is matching with the attribute values of the record, or else even we can call it as a rule R is triggered or fired. Okay, whenever it is going to match with the attributes of a given record. Okay, so now I'll give you an example. So see here, let us consider these two records here. Okay, that is hog, that is the name of the species, and then we have got second one, grizzly bear. Okay, so that is second species. Okay, now let's see which are the rules that are triggered in this table. Okay, so in this table, if you consider, so which are the rules that is triggered by each of these species. So if you consider the first species here, so this species, it is going to trigger the rule R1, because if you see here, gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. So gives birth is equal to no. If you observe here, so that is gives birth. Okay, so gives birth is no and aerial creature is yes. So these two attribute values are matched with respect to rule R1. So this one, that is rule R1 contains gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. So see here, gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. So since it is going to match with the precondition of R1, we are going to say that rule R1 is going to cover this first vertebrate or this species. Say rule R1 is said to cover, or rule R1 is said to be triggered by the first vertebrate because it is going to match with the precondition of R1. So if you look at the precondition of R1, it is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. So here also we have got gives birth is equal to no and then aerial creature is equal to yes. So since these attribute values are matched with the precondition of R1, so we are going to say that R1 is going to trigger the first vertebrate or the species. So in the same way, if we come to the second one, that is grizzly bear. Okay, so this grizzly bear is not going to cover the rule R1 because, say, if you see here, the rule in the rule R1, see the precondition is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. So gives birth is equal to no. If you look here, gives birth is yes, but in the given rule, it is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes, it is, but here it is no. So this rule R1 is not triggered by the second vertebrate, but it is triggered by the first vertebrate, or rule R1 is going to cover the first vertebrate because it is precondition, that is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. That is, this precondition is satisfied by this first vertebrate. But the second vertebrate, grizzly bear, it is not going to trigger the first rule because its attribute values gives birth is equal to yes, it is, and aerial creature is no. But in the given rule, it is a given rule, it is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. So since the that is the precondition is not going to match with the attribute values, so it is not going to cover the rule R1. Okay. So now coming to how we can check the quality of the rule. Okay, we must have some evaluation measures here in order to check the quality of the rules. So we have got two evaluation measures. So first one is the coverage and second one is accuracy. So these are the two measures which we can use in order to evaluate the rules here, coverage and the accuracy. So in general, see if you have got a data set D and a classification rule, that is R. Okay, R is a classification rule. See, any classification rule will be in this form. That is, it will be having a precondition that is denoted by A, and then it will be having implication, and then Y is the class level. Okay, so this is a classification rule, and we have got a given data set that is D. Then this coverage of the rule. Okay, coverage of the rule is nothing but, see how many records in D are going to trigger this R. So that fraction of records will be called as coverage. That is how many records in this given data set D, they are going to trigger this rule R. That is called as the coverage. So coverage is nothing but it is the fraction of records in D that is going to trigger the rule R. So fraction of records is nothing but it is how many percentage of records are going to trigger this rule R. That is called as a coverage. So coverage is the number of records in the given data set that are going to trigger this rule. Okay. And in the same way, second metric, that is accuracy. See, accuracy is nothing but it is the number of records or the fraction of records that are triggered by this rule R. And also one more thing is, see, class label must be equal to Y. So class label of these records, it must be equal to Y. So such fraction of records will be called as accuracy. Okay, okay. It is also called as confidence factor. So in case of coverage, so coverage is nothing but it is just a number of records that are going to trigger the rule R. So how many fraction of records or how much percentage of records they are going to trigger the rule R, that is called as a coverage. But accuracy is, see, in these fraction of records, okay, so how many of the records will be having class label that is equal to Y. So along with the number of records, we also need to consider the class label here. So that fraction of records that is triggered by the rule R, whose class label is equal to Y, that is called as accuracy or the confidence factor. Okay, so coverage of R, it is denoted by equal to mod of A divided by mod of B. So mod of A is nothing but it is the number of records. Okay, so that is triggered by the that is rule R. So that is denoted by mod of A by mod of B. Okay, so mod of A is nothing but it is the number of records. Okay, so that will be satisfying the that is rule antecedent or precondition. Okay, and then mod of D is nothing but it is the number of records, total number of records, and then mod of A intersection Y is nothing but it is the number of records. So that will be satisfying both the precondition and also the class level. That is mod of A intersection Y, and then divided by mod of A is nothing but it is the number of records that will be satisfying the precondition. So these are the equations that we must use in order to calculate the rule coverage and the accuracy. So rule coverage is mod of A by mod of D, that is nothing but the fraction of records in D that are going to satisfy the rule R. Okay. And then accuracy is nothing but it is the fraction of records in D that are going to cover the rule R. Along with that, see, the class level must also match here. That must be equal to Y. Okay. So this accuracy is given by mod of A intersection Y by mod of A. Okay. So now coming to how this rule based classifier is going to work. Okay. So as I explained in the previous example, say we will be comparing the attribute of a given that is test record, the training record, with the rule precondition. Which rules are going to trigger these preconditions or the rule antecedent? So that class label will be assigned to that record. Okay. So see here again, see same rule set we have considered here, and we will be explaining, see how which rule will be triggered by which of the test record here. So which test record is going to trigger which classification rule here. So with the help of that, we'll be explaining a working of a rule based classifier here. So see here, if you look at the first rule, okay, so first rule is that is same thing, that is gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes. Then if these are satisfied, then we'll be assigning the class label as birds. And second one is gives birth is equal to no and aquatic creature is equal to yes, then the class label assigned is species. And then if the third rule is if the gives birth is equal to yes and then body temperature is equal to warm blooded, then it will be assigned as mammals. And fourth rule is gives birth is equal to no and then aerial creature is equal to no, then reptiles will be assigned as class label. And fifth one is about the amphibians, that is if aquatic creature is equal to semi, then we will be assigning the class label as amphibians. Okay, so now let's see which of these test records are going to trigger which rule here. So if you come to the first one, that is first vertebrate, lemur. Okay, so this lemur is, it is warm blooded. If you see here, body temperature is warm blooded and gives birth is equal to, we have got it as, so if you look at gives birth, okay, so gives birth is yes here. Okay, so body temperature is equal to warm blooded and gives birth is equal to yes. So it is present in which rule? That is rule R3. So this first vertebrate, it is going to trigger the rule R3 because body temperature is equal to warm and then gives birth is equal to yes. Okay. So since these attributes are going to match with the precondition of this R3, so this first vertebrate is going to trigger the rule R3 here. Okay, so it will be classified as that is mammal. So the class label is mammal, so that will be assigned or it will be classified as mammal. Okay. So now coming to the second one, that is turtle. Okay. So if you look at the turtle, so gives birth is equal to no. Okay. So gives birth is equal to no, and then aerial creature is equal to no. Okay, so if you look at these two attributes, so it is going to trigger R4 here, because in case of turtle, see gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to no. So it is going to trigger R4. So again, if you look at R5, that is aquatic creature is equal to semi. That is, it is also going to trigger R5 also. Okay, now see here, this second vertebrate, so it is going to trigger both the rules R4 and R5. Okay, because so if you see here, gives birth is equal to no, and then aerial creature is equal to no, it is going to match with the rule R4. Okay, so it is going to trigger R4. Apart from that, aquatic creature is equal to semi. Aquatic creature is equal to semi. Okay, that is also triggered. So you will be having two class levels to be assigned, that is reptiles and amphibians. Now you are in a confusion. So in this case, you are unable to assign a class level. So for that, so we have got some of the solution. I will explain it later. Okay, so in case of second vertebrate, so here there is a confusion because it is going to trigger both the rules R4 and R5. Okay, so now coming to the third test record here, that is dog, fish, shark. Okay, so see here, it is not going to match with any of the rules here. Okay, so for example, cold-blooded. So is cold-blooded present anywhere? No. Next, skin cover is scales. Scales is present anywhere? No. Next, gives birth is equal to yes. So gives birth is equal to yes is there. Next, body temperature also we need to check. Body temperature is what? So body temperature is cold-blooded. That is not going to match. So R3 will not also be not triggered here. Okay. Then so next one, aquatic creature is equal to yes. Aquatic creature is equal to yes, and then gives birth is equal to no must be there in order to trigger any of the rules. But here it is yes, so it is not matched with R2 also. Then aerial creature is equal to no. So aerial creature is equal to no is there, but gives birth is equal to no is there in the rule R4. But here it is yes, so it will not match with R4 also. Then aquatic creature is equal to semi. Aquatic creature, so here it is not semi, it is yes. So none of the rules are triggered for this third vertebrate. Then see at that time we must have some solution so that we will be able to assign at least one class to the record here. So we have got two problems here. So one problem is for the second test record, that is for the turtle. Okay. So here it is going to trigger both the rules, that is R4 and R5. Okay. So both the rules will be triggered here, R4 and R5. So there is a confusion. We are unable to assign the, that is class label here because of confusion. Okay. And the third record, that is dog, fish, shark. So again, it is not going to trigger any of the rules here. Since it is not going to trigger any of the rules, we are not able to assign the class label to that record. Okay. So in this situation, okay, so we need to maintain or ensure two properties of the rule set here. Okay, so two important properties that must be satisfied by the rule set in the rule based classifier are, so first one is, so see here, mutually exclusive rule, and second one is exhaustive rule. Okay, so see here, I'll explain it in detail. So mutually exclusive rule means that, okay, so if you got two or more rules in a rule set, then no record, it must trigger two or more rules at the same time. Just like how we have seen in the previous example, see this second record, it is going to trigger both R4 and R5. So it has happened because we have defined the rules in such a way. But instead of that, if we define the rules using a mutually exclusive property, then see in case of rule set R, see all the rules will be mutually exclusive here, and no two rules will be triggered by the same record here. So same record will not trigger two or more rules at the same time. So it means that every record is covered by exactly one rule here. So if we satisfy this property, then we will not be having any ambiguity. Then two or more rules will not be triggered by the same record. Okay, so that is going to happen only if we define a mutual exclusive rules. So we have modified the previous rules and we have defined the rules R1, R2 and R3, that is body temperature is equal to cold blooded, then it is non-mammals, and then body temperature is equal to warm blooded and gives birth is equal to yes, then it is mammal, and then R3 is body temperature is equal to warm blooded and gives birth is equal to no, then it is assigned as non-mammals. Okay, so see here, see we have remodified the rules such that it becomes non, that is two or more records, they must not trigger the same rule. Okay, so like that we have defined the mutual exclusive rules here. Now see here, so if you look at the second record, that is turtle. Okay, so body temperature is cold blooded. Is it present here? Just check it. So body temperature is cold blooded, so it is going to trigger rule R1. So none of the other rules will be triggered here, because see, for cold blooded we have not defined any other rules here. Okay, so R1 will only be triggered by the second, that is vertebrate. So we'll not be having any confusion here. Okay, so if we define rules such that no two records, they are going to trigger the two rules at the same time. That is, every record will be triggered by at least exactly one rule here. So that is called as mutual exclusive rule. So every record must trigger only one record at a time. So same record will not trigger two or more rules at the same time. If you define rules like that, then we will not be ending at the ambiguity. Okay, so we can easily avoid the ambiguity. That is mutually exclusive. And second one is exhaustive rule. Okay, so see here, see for this I told for the dogfish record, see none of the rules will be triggered here. Okay, so suppose if none of the rules are triggered, then we will not be able to assign the class level. Again, we are arrived at the problem. So in order to solve this, we need to define the rules such that they are exhaustive rules. So exhaustive rule means that, say a rule set R, say it is called as exhaustive coverage if the rule for each combination of the attribute values is defined. There must be at least one rule for every combination of attribute values. So it means that, say, every record will be covered by at least one rule. Okay. So as I said in this example, see, since we are unable to define the class label for the third record, will not be able to classify this record, third record. Okay. So because we don't have any of the rules that are satisfied or triggered by these attribute values here. Okay. So instead of that, if we define a rule for every combination of attribute values, then there will be at least one rule that will be triggered by a record here. Okay. So if we have got at least one rule that is triggered by the record, then you can easily use that rule in order to classify your record. Okay. That is called as exhaustive rule. So first one is mutually exclusive rules, where the same record will not trigger two or more records. It means that every record is going to trigger only one rule at a time. So second property is exhaustive rules. So in case of exhaustive rules, see, there will be at least one rule for every combination of attribute values here. So every record will be triggered or covered by at least one rule here. Okay, so again, see, this is one of the example for that is mutually exclusive and exhaustive rules. So now if you use these rules, so see here for this one, okay, so for the dogfish, okay, that is body temperature is cold blooded. So okay, body temperature is cold blooded means it will be classified as non-noun. So we are able to assign the class level as non-nounals for this third record. But if you use these set of rules, then you will not be having a solution for these two records. Okay. So now, see, as I said, see, in order to make a rule set exhaustive, so one more thing what we can do is we can define a default rule. So if you define a default rule, there will be at least one class label that will be assigned to that rule. That is a default class. So default rule we can define in this form. That is RD. Okay, that stands for default rule. Say precondition of this will be empty, and then class label is default class, that is YD. So if none of the rules are triggered by the records here, then this default class YD will be assigned to that record. If you don't have any of the rules that are triggered by the record, then this default class YD will be assigned to this that is given test records. Okay. So like this, we will be able to define a that is exhaustive rules. Okay. Okay, so next topic, so better I will discuss in the next class. Okay, just wait for 2 minutes. I will take your attendance.